Good afternoon. This is Newberg Mayor Rick Rogers, and today is Sunday, May 16th. I hope this message finds you well. Today's topic is the city's proposed 2021-2022 budget. Over the past few weeks, 14 members of the city's budget committee have met to review the 133-page budget document submitted by City Manager Dan Weinheimer. Here it is. That's it. The budget committee is comprised of 7 members of the city council and 7 appointed community members. The task of the committee is to recommend a budget to the City Council for adoption. This is scheduled to occur at the City Council's meeting June 7th. The budget document begins with the City Manager's budget message. In this, the city's CEO explains any changes in budget preparation, outstanding circumstances such as COVID, new positions, the implementation of City Council goals, internal reorganization, and other work program highlights. The message also explains a structural deficit in the general fund that I will touch on a bit later. Municipal accounting and therefore budgeting requires the use of a series of funds to direct both revenue and expenses. Most of these funds are restricted in that only certain charges can be directed to that fund. For instance, when you pay the water portion of your municipal services bill, that revenue to the city and expense to you, flows to a public works fund, Fund 7, where you will see the entry user fees. These fees can only flow to Fund 7 for water. They cannot be used for wastewater, Fund 6, or any other fund. The vast majority of the city's budget is handled in this manner. Revenues and expenses are restricted to their funds. In all, the city's financial system tracks 22 funds. With this, the city's total projected expenditures for 2021-22 are expected to reach $73.7 million. During the course of the Budget Committee's sessions, the City Manager, the Assistant City Manager, Kezia Warner, and department heads presented their individual budgets. Those presented including Interim Police Chief Jeff Kosmicki, Community Development Director Doug Rux, Public Works Director Russ Thomas, City Attorney via Miller, Nash, Graham, and Dunn, James Walker, and Library Director Will Worthy. Rob Moody of Marina and Company was contacted for this budget cycle. As mentioned, most of the city's funds are restricted to their function with one exception, and that is Fund 1, or the General Fund. This is the fund that is not directly restricted and therefore must pay for the expenditures that are not directly supported by user fees, state-level taxes, or charges for services. When we speak of a structural deficit, the General Fund is the area we're speaking about. The main funding for these expenses, which are largely police, the library, and planning, come from property taxes, franchise fees, for non-city provided utilities like PGE, Northwest Natural, and the like, and some state shared revenue such as liquor and cigarette taxes. In his budget message, City Manager Weinheimer notes a projected shortfall in his fund of $815,000. He requested that $350,000 be removed from the deficit to reduction in planned activities and increases in certain fees. During deliberation, the Budget Committee did not support the fee increases and recommended the addition of a library position that was not included in the original budget. The impact on the structural deficit in 2021-22 will be better determined on June 7th when the Council reviews the revised document. In all, the proposed budget projects 138.8 full-time equivalent employees at the City of Newberg this coming year, which is a slight reduction from 139.55 in the adopted 2020-2021 budget. One area that has yet to be discussed but will be the subject of quarterly Budget Committee meetings is the American Rescue Plan funds from the federal government. These funds are significant, just under $5 million for 2 years, and your thoughts on how best to direct these resources will be sought. Many thanks to the City Council staff and Budget Committee members who worked through the budget. Those community members include Solomon Allen, Timothy Carpenter, Beth Kochman, Lozelle Mathai, Greg Minahan, Molly Olson, and Brad Sitton. Thank you all. If you'd like to have a further look at the budget document, please see the finance section of the city's website. If you have comments or suggestions, as always, you can contact me at rick.rogers@newbergoregon.gov. Thank you and be well.